Action Plan, SLIS751, McCabe Rents, December 4th, 2019. First, let's look at the community. The 29169 zip code. 14.2% of the population is Hispanic. 9% of the child population in 2018 speak a language other than English at home in South Carolina. 50.7% of the population aged over 25 that speak a language other than English at home has attained education less than a high school graduate. Let's take a look at the community, the city. Whereas the City of West Columbia hereby declares that reading and literacy is a priority for the City of West Columbia. Now let's look at the library. The KC West Columbia Branch Library has literacy and community as key components in both the mission and vision of the Lexington County Public Library System. The library system's commitment to lifelong literacy and to the community directly relates to the Hispanic demographic and how the KC West Columbia branch can best serve this population. PESOS as a community partner. Their mission statement. PESOS helps build a stronger South Carolina by supporting Latino communities with education, advocacy, and leadership development. At PESOS, we believe that knowledge is power, and by helping our communities expand their abilities and access more information and tools, we can assist them in improving their quality of life and achieving their goals. Now, let's look at the materials and resources of the library and PESOS. Remember, our goal is to provide Hispanic and Spanish-speaking community members with equitable library services. Here are some essential understandings. When the library offers programs in whatever language would be the most beneficial to the specific communities around the library. Community engagement involves facilitating and fostering mutually beneficial and complementary alliances with community-based partners. There are many groups who provide different types of cultural, information, and literacy services to the community. Working together, library staff and these groups will be more likely to succeed in their community. In fact, library staff could be the key link among these various agencies. The library already provides Spanish language option for website and catalog search, Spanish language materials, and space for literacy events. PESOS is already a trusted Hispanic community leader. They provide early literacy programs and support for families. In order to provide effective support, the most important thing is to make the Hispanic community aware that you do understand their needs and acknowledge their presence. Get out into the Hispanic community in your area to sit and talk to individuals who wish to have input on the Spanish and bilingual materials in your library. They are stakeholders as well. The library can increase Spanish signage, Spanish-speaking and bilingual staff members, story times and programming, documents and forms, and curated and prominent displays and collections. PESOS can communicate with the community about the library services. They can provide volunteers, especially bilingual and Spanish-speaking volunteers. They can partner with the library to share space, services, identify leaders, and help build the reputation and trust of the Hispanic community of the library. They can also provide the library with a knowledge of the Hispanic culture. Now, here is a better look at the plan. Remember again, our goal is to increase trust, usage, and literacy in the Hispanic and Spanish-speaking population of the 29169 community. In order to do that, we first must acknowledge. Librarians and libraries should establish best practices for addressing the needs of the Hispanic and Spanish-speaking population of the 29169 community. Research has shown that when best practices are followed, literacy behaviors are increased. They must adapt to the needs of the Hispanic and Spanish-speaking population of the 29169 community. They must be welcoming to the Hispanic community through the implementation of adaptations to existing programs and services. They must integrate the culture, needs, and language of the Hispanic and Spanish-speaking population of the 29169 community. Librarians should ask who is not sitting at the table and work to integrate them into the library world. Librarians should step out of their comfort zone when implementing integration. How will we assess if the plan is working? Library assessment must meet many needs and satisfy many stakeholders. Assessing the success of the action plan will require time. However, the steps made can be measured. In the short term, we look for an increase in foot traffic by Hispanic community members, circulation of Spanish language materials, an increase of attendance to library programming. We hope to increase our qualitative information and data about Hispanic-speaking library users. We would like to also see an increase in bilingual and Spanish-speaking staff, programs and services, signage and displays, as well as resources such as Google Translate to provide Spanish resources when the library does not physically hold them. In the long term, we are looking for an increase in the percentage of the population aged over 25 that speak a language other than English at home and attains an education equal that to a high school graduate. Hispanic and Spanish-speaking library staff. Also an increase in Spanish language programming, community partnerships, celebration and inclusion in the regular library day-to-day activities, as well as an increase in quantitative data. Thank you for your time in looking at the action plan for increasing Hispanic and Spanish-speaking community member library usage in the 29169 community. For more information, please take a look at my references.